News Radio Wham 1180 welcomes you to The Seniors Rock Show. The Seniors Rock Show, a lively weekly discussion shedding a bright light on aging with fun, entertainment, and important info for all adults. Join us with your comments or questions. Call or text 222-1180 or 1-800-295-1180. Now, from the News Radio Wham 1180 studios in downtown Rochester, here's your host, Joanna Palvino.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the show. I'm Joanna and I'm here with my co-host, estate planning attorney Mike Robinson. And he is with the law office of Michael Robinson, coincidentally. And also Pam, our iHeart Studio producer, is here. And, we're getting excited because it's a big month for us. It's our 4th anniversary on the air with WHAM. And Pam's been with us all this time, too. And Pam just celebrated a birthday. So that's pretty cool. We're like a little family here, and I think that we feel like you're a family too. So thank you for joining us. And today we've got someone that I've been mentioning for a few weeks now, and he's going to join us. You probably feel like you know him too. His name is Peter Gordon, and Peter is one of the co-founders of Indoor Air Professionals. And that is two brothers, Peter and his brother, who started Indoor Air, and now they are the preferred vendor for the U.S. Navy, and that's including ships and subs and all that good stuff. So they've cleaned thousands and thousands of homes and businesses, and now they are located, not now, but they're located right here in Rochester. So we're going to talk to Peter and, Indoor Air Professionals. They focus on providing like comprehensive indoor air quality services. And if you don't know what those are, stay tuned because we're going to talk about it. And they've been working with Western New York and customers around this area for over 30 years. So we've got an expert, as always, to talk to you about that. And I wanted to remind you that we are live and you can call us at 222-1180. That's area code 585-222-1180 anytime during the show. And Pam will answer. And you can either leave the question with her, she'll patch it through, or you can talk to us on the air and answer the question. Maybe something with, if it's about estate planning, that's Mike Robinson. If it's about air quality, indoor air quality, it's going to be Peter. So if you do have a question, don't be shy. Give us a call. Okay. And we thought it would be appropriate, by the way, to talk about the benefits of clean indoor air, seeing as how we've been cooped up in air conditioned places for days. At first I thought, well, you get your air ducts cleaned and you do these things in the winter because we've got the windows closed. I completely forgot about keeping those windows closed for the air conditioning. So it's the same deal. And we'll be talking to Peter about that, as I said. So it's been very hot, and so I say, hello, summer. And I'll say, hello, Mike Robinson.
Hello, Joanna Palvino. And yes, it is summertime and it feels good, although I know this past week was probably oppressive for a lot of folks. But hopefully everybody stayed safe. But I'm happy it's summer. Did you get to see the strawberry moon last night?
I did not. I looked out the window. I didn't see it. Did you?
Yeah, it didn't come up until, I don't know, 9:15, something like that. I saw it much later. But yeah, it was nice.
No, I did. Maybe I looked out the wrong window. I don't know.
You
Pam,
go.
did you see it?
We were at Jazz Fest last night, and I did see it. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, that must have been cool over downtown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was nice.
I
Very
bet.
nice.
I bet. So cool stuff. Anyway, this week I wanted to talk about an ongoing problem that we continue to see with people's estate plans. And it's something, it happens, we see it all too frequently. It happened again just this past week, and it is tremendously frustrating. And I know I'll probably ruffle some feathers with what I'm going to say, but it's too important not to say. Joanna, as you know, I've been an estate planning attorney for over 38 years. In that time, I've worked with thousands of people to help them create an estate plan that provides the most appropriate protections for them and their families. And creating those estate plans, it not only is a significant time investment for me and my team, it's also a significant investment of time and energy on the part of our clients. And we and our clients are willing to make that investment of time and energy because we realize the importance of that planning. Unfortunately, that investment of time and energy too often is wasted because of advice that clients receive from financial advisors. And we've seen clients' estate plans absolutely blown up by an advisor who does not truly understand the components of a comprehensive estate plan, and consequently does not understand what types of investments are appropriate within a particular estate plan or how those assets should be held. And here's just a few recent examples. We worked with a married couple to develop a trust-based estate plan that included some important tax planning as well as specific protections for their children's and their grandchildren's inheritances. And as part of that plan implementation, we helped them transfer their investment account, which was, not insignificant, into the name of their trust. They recently called me to tell me that they changed investment companies, and their new advisor told them they don't need to have the account in the name of their trust because they can have the account in their own name, and they can avoid probate simply by naming their children and grandchildren as beneficiaries of the account.
Uh-oh. I can tell by your voice that this is not good information.
Not a good thing. No, I mean, clearly this advisor did not take the time to understand the client's goals or the structure of their estate plan, did not bother to call our office for guidance, and the clients wound up losing all of the tax planning, all of the protections that we had put in place for them. Another example, this is a recent example. It started, though, a number of years ago. We created an estate plan for a couple that was designed to protect their assets in the event they needed nursing home care. There were some health issues, some concerns there. So again, we helped them retitle their real estate, their investments into a protective trust arrangement. Enough time eventually had passed that we were beyond the Medicaid look-back period, and all of those assets were protected. Unfortunately, a financial advisor who did not understand the estate plan came into the picture. Joanna had them remove the assets from the protective trust. And not only did the clients lose protection for, in this case, over $1 million in assets, it also caused a probate when one of the spouses died. And then we had another.
I know what probate means. It means money.
Exactly.
Spend a lot of money.
Time, money, stress, aggravation. And then another example, we had a client who was told to purchase annuities that not only were an inappropriate investment for their situation, but they were structured in such a way we couldn't protect the money from long-term care expense when that situation arose. So the takeaway for clients is that you always should consult your estate planning attorney before changing your investments or retitling your assets. Not because the attorney's going to put the kibosh on anything necessarily, but we want to make sure that everything remains properly coordinated so that the estate plan is going to work the way that it's entitled to. And similarly, the takeaway for financial advisors is, number one, be sure to ask your clients about their estate plan and then consult with their estate planning attorney before recommending investments and before retitling assets. The estate planning attorney has no interest in defeating what the advisor might be trying to accomplish. We just want to make sure that everything works the way it's supposed to work, that the right protections, whether it's asset protection, whether it's tax planning, probate avoidance, whatever the issues are, we just want to make sure that the client is adequately protected and that plan that they put so much time and energy in creating, it's going to work the way they want it to.
It makes total sense to me, Mike. And I'm sitting here thinking, but I understand why people might get confused, because when you start talking about assets, there's a fine line. You're talking to a financial advisor, you're talking to attorneys, and when you're talking about assets, the first thing you might think about is your financial person. I'm afraid to say that, if that's correct or not, but I don't know. There's no studies that I'm aware of, but I'm just thinking, people might associate money with financial advisor and take that advice without consulting an estate planning attorney. And it's a great thing that you're doing to encourage that. It's a team approach that you're talking about.
Absolutely, it's a team approach. Yes.
Yes, and including the person that it's whose estate it is. So I think it's important to remember that we all have a say in it, and if you're talking to the right people, you're going to have a good plan, and your family will be, rewarded at the end for you.
Indeed. And I've had on any number of occasions financial advisors call me up and say, "Hey, we know you did this plan. Here's what we're thinking about. Is that going to work? Do you see any issues with it?" And sometimes I tell them, "No, that sounds great and that's going to work just fine." Other times I'll say, "That is going to cause an issue. How about if we look at it a little bit of a different way?" But again, we want the client to come out in the best situation possible.
And I know that you do. I am a client of Mike Robinson and the law office of Michael Robinson. John and we've been very happy with the services, and he keeps us up to date on things. So it's important, again, to consult someone who knows what they're doing. If it's not Mike, go to another attorney. There's plenty of them.
That's
And
right.
if
I'm not the only one.
you're not? Okay. Well, anyway, if you're ever thinking about the air you breathe and or your family's breathing, do you? Do you think about that? Well, you will today if you stay tuned for more on Seniors Rock Radio, News Radio WHAM 1180. We're going to be talking about air in a minute. Stay right there.
And welcome back to Seniors Rock Radio. And joining us now is Peter Gordon, founder of Indoor Air Professionals and an indoor air quality specialist for over 30 years. Peter is here to talk about how to improve the air indoors in your home or any place you might be hanging out so you and your family can breathe easier. And Peter, I understand that there are significant challenges with indoor air quality in the summertime, and especially with the extreme heat that we just had when air conditioning is running a lot. So I'm sure we're going to learn a lot about that, but let's start with duct cleaning 101.
Yes.
All
And
right.
I'm going to jump in here and say hi, Peter. First of all, I want to say hi. And I'm going to start the questions today because I did have my ducts cleaned. You probably know that if you're a regular listener. And if you just tuned in, we're going to talk now with Peter Gordon, Indoor Air Professionals. I'm going to start with the first question, if you don't mind. And here it is. Why is the duct cleaning technology and process that indoor air professionals use radically different than anyone else out there? Because since I've gotten my ducts cleaned, Peter, people say, "Oh, I know. I've heard, some things about those companies and that kind of thing." So I just wanted to clarify that you guys are the best. So go ahead.
All right. Yeah, no, that's a great question. And it is, I mean, it is really, I tell a lot of people, unfortunately, the category of duct cleaning is like a giant scam because it starts out on the wrong foot. If you want to become a duct cleaner, you can go out and buy equipment called Roto Brush for like $10,000, or you can get what's known in the industry as a low volume air sweep with brushes and for $20,000. And both those get anywhere from 30 to 45, maybe 50% of the contamination out of the ductwork. And we have a very unique system for the last 32 years that it costs us $80,000 to put it together, but it cleans 95% out. So I'm concerned, that the big concern is that when you clean 50% out, it is actually worse than doing nothing, because now you've stirred up stuff and more
Oh,
stuff blows out to make you sick. So
and
that's
then
a
it's
that's a
probably sucking it up into the ducts if you're doing it
right.
halfway. Oh boy,
Right.
that's not
Now,
good.
and just to how do you know what I'm saying is true? Well, in 32 years, we've cleaned 70,000 homes, as well as all the hospitals, schools, and all that. And 2,700 of those homes have had the ducts cleaned before using the other equipment. And in every case, we're pulling out a bushel of dirt.
Yikes.
And the other thing is we have over 100 heating and air conditioning contractors and other general type contractors, carpet cleaners, the list goes on, that
Mhm.
refer us or subcontract us exclusively. And 28 of them used to be competitors, and now they're
Wow.
our customers. So
That's
those are the
that's a
facts.
testament.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
All
know
right.
what, Peter? I was going to say, I recommend you all the time as well. And I did post a picture. I want folks to know if you go to our Facebook page, Seniors Rock Radio, you will see a picture of what came out of our air duct. It's pretty amazing. And I just wanted to interject that before I forgot. Okay. And while we're talking about this, there's some health results that you get, and tell the folks about that, Peter.
Yeah, that's what actually gets us up every morning is the fact that people that were having, just from minor sinus to full-blown allergies to asthma to COPD, and then those that have a compromised immune system that they are battling cancer and they're wiped out by chemo or radiation. So we've had people, you know, pay for their duct cleaning in a matter of months by not having copays for doctors, medication, and we all know that medication is necessary in many cases, but the more medication you can do without, when people stop using medication because they've cleaned their air thoroughly through duct cleaning, a thorough duct cleaning and a medical grade air purifier, then that's what really jazzes us. And we've got hundreds of testimonies and 5-star Google reviews about that.
Well, Peter, I was struck a few moments ago when you said that you pull a bushel of dirt out of, and that's from a ducts that somebody else already attended to. And is
Yeah.
what's in air ducts worse in the summertime?
Well, yeah. So here's what happens. So first of all, people go, well, what is it? I mean, I've never cleaned my ducts. So it usually happens when people just see a lot of dust and stuff. But it's the fact that people shed 50 million dead skin cells per person per day. It's all the remodeling and construction debris and original construction debris. It's the dirts and pollens from the outside. The reason it's worse is because the way we produce air conditioning is with cooling coils. And if you ever look at a cold pipe in your basement, it's got beads of sweat on it. So those cooling coils, the blower motor blows the air over the cooling coils. It goes into the ductwork and it makes mold in the ductwork.
Oh,
Or
all right.
biofilm is what
Got
we
about a
call
minute,
it.
Peter. One more
Yeah.
minute here. Going on.
Okay. So anyhow, yeah, that is why it's worse, because we now are dealing with biofilm, and a lot of people think it's the it's 89 and humid out like it's been this week, and then you go inside to 76 and it feels good. Oh, but that's why I get sick with air conditioning. It's not the temperature
Oh boy.
difference. It's the biofilm, the mold, and the
All right.
particulate.
Let's
that's
hold it
coming out.
right there because we're going to talk more with Peter after the break. And we're going to talk also about air purifiers and dehumidifiers because I need to get that demystified for myself. Stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Seniors Rock Radio. And if you're just tuning in, we're talking about clean indoor air today and how you can get it anywhere you work or play. That kind of rhymes. It's kind of cool. But anyway, there are many health benefits. That's serious stuff. And that's why we're talking about it. And that's why we invited Peter Gordon from Indoor Air to join us today. And if you have a question about your own home or business and how you can get cleaner air indoors, you can call right now and ask him if you'd like. He's here with us at 585-222-1180. I'm going to give you, or he's going to give you, the phone number. You can call him at any time after the show, but right now you can actually call if you want to, 222-1180. So just wanted to remind you, we are live and we are here, and we welcome your calls anytime. So we also call. I was going to say, if you don't want to call and be on the air, you can call and give Pam your question and she'll tell us and we'll talk to you about it. All right. So back to Peter. Peter, I'm going to ask you, I think it's important for people to understand the difference between an air purifier and a dehumidifier because we're going to talk about those and I get confused. Can you help us?
Okay, sure. Yeah, so an air purifier actually, a good one will reduce and kill bacteria, mold, and virus, as well as particulate in the air. The dehumidifier, it lowers the humidity in the air. It's usually, put in the basement. Most people have one, but they're not very efficient compared to a high capacity one. Many people have an air purifier that is HEPA filtered. We used used to sell HEPA filtered air purifiers. Now we just represent one brand, Healthway, because it's 40 times more efficient than HEPA filtration. Well, how does that break down? Very simple math. HEPA goes down to 0.3 microns. In other words, it removes 99.9% of particulate down to 0.3 microns. And the DFS technology with Healthway gets 99.99% down to 0.007 microns. So when you take the 0.007 microns, very small particles, divide that by the 0.3, that's 40 times or 4,000% more efficient.
Wow, I guess okay. I'm not really good at math, but that sounds like it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
and
all,
I do have
yeah,
another
all,
question though. I
yeah,
mean, I want to get through a couple of them because we have
yeah,
about maybe 5 minutes left. Which would you recommend? All right, so I had my ducts cleaned, and I don't
yeah,
have either. Well, no, I'm a liar. I do have the dehumidifier in the basement, right? I have to. I have
yeah.
stuff down here. So I'd like to get a better one though. So which one should I start with?
I think it depends, especially if you have allergies, asthma, sinus, any respiratory. Go for the medical grade air purifier. The Healthway.
Hmm.
But it's so common that we have moisture in our basements in the Northeast, and the high capacity dehumidifier is, once again, it's got 5 times the drying power of a regular dehumidifier. And don't forget, you could have no forced air, you could have radiant heat, and that's when you really want to get into an air purifier, because that's how you're going to clean your air without a forced air system.
Peter, a question that probably always comes up is what's the return on investment with your services and equipment?
Okay, well, I touched on that a little bit, but with air purifiers and of course even the duct cleaning, if you have sinus, allergies, asthma, and you stop using medication or stop going to the doctor, um, or getting shots and all that, that is essentially, it's the health benefit. And sometimes, how do you buy peace of mind and health and all that? So that's
Right, it's
really
priceless,
what.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Sure.
you will get some better energy efficiency with your electric on your furnace, because especially if your ductwork is old, it could be that clogged that it's you're going to save on energy because it's now clean and freer, But that's
Hmm.
not as big as just the breathing easier through the health
Sure.
benefits.
No, I love it. And there's one thing we haven't mentioned yet. One of my favorite benefits is the less dusting because there's less dust in the house. And right now, in this beautiful weather, I'm really appreciating that, Peter, because I can get outside more and enjoy myself instead of being in the house dusting and cleaning. So,
Absolutely.
a little known fact, but it's true. And so there are a lot of health benefits, but there's also social benefits. They're kind of hidden there.
Totally. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
so many of our customers say things like they used to dust 3 times a week before the service, and they dust once or twice a month after. And once
It's
again, the
true.
biggest contributor is the fact that we, the people, shed 50 million dead skin cells per person per day. That's
You
where it all starts.
All right. Now that's a big incentive, I'll admit it, but I know that you also give our listeners strong incentives monetarily to help them to get their breath easier, to breathe easier in their home or business. So what can they expect today, Peter, if they give you a
All
call?
right. Well, personally and at Indoor Air, we believe inflation is real, regardless of what you might hear on in the
Oh, it
news and
is.
all that. So we're going to up our game here to try to help everybody fight inflation and offer a real 20% off of duct cleaning. And what
Nice.
do I mean by a real 20%? When you call me and I send you the info, you will actually get our price list. And so that it's not just a markup markdown. Last week we did $175 off, but that's real. And now on the medical grade air purifiers, there's two main models. Once it covers 1,200 square feet, that would be $350 off. There's
Wow.
one that connects to your furnace that covers the whole house that your furnace would cover. and that's $500 off. And then lastly, the high capacity dehumidifier that is 5 times more powerful than your standard, what we call Chinese fire starters, is $300 off.
Oh, great. Hey, Peter, thanks so much for joining us today. Tell our listeners, what's the best way to reach you?
Okay, yeah, you can just call our local number at 585 427 8020. So that's 427 8020. You can also call an 800 number, and that's 683 0021.
And tell them you
right.
heard it on the Seniors Rock radio show, right? That would be nice.
Yep.
All right, there you go.
All right.
Peter, thanks again. And folks, stay with us. We'll be back after the break here on Seniors Rock Radio and News Radio Wham 1180.
Bye, Peter. Get ready
Bye.
for the calls.
Thanks. Yeah.
Well, welcome back. And it's Saturday, and we are the Seniors Rock Show. And if you just tuned in, we're going to be here for a few more minutes, but we wanted to wrap up today's show by first saying thank you to Peter from Indoor Air Professionals for joining us and giving us some great tips on a healthy way to, get clean air and how to do it. And I wanted to say, too, a shout out to our friends at the GRAPE organization, and that's the Greater Organization, the Greater Rochester Area Partnership for the Elderly. We just went John and I, to the Groovy Grape Gala. That's their biggest fundraiser for the year, and it's the last big event for this summer. We'll reconvene in September with this group, and they are wonderful. And I'm going to try to figure out how to put the link to the pictures from the gala. So many people dressed up. It was really a hoot. And, disco's a fun thing to dress up in, and it was interesting to see all the different costumes. So if you want a little walk down memory lane and to see what Grape's about, check out Facebook later for Seniors Rock Radio, and I'll try to get that link on there for you. And big news, Mike and Pam, and I know you know, but I hope listeners are listening. We're going to be starting at 11 o'clock in the future. That's starting next week, and we're going to have a big, a special show, if you will, 2 hours. It's going to be our anniversary show. Mike, tell them how many years we've been together here on WHM.
4 years.
Yes, 4 years. And Pam's been with us most of that time, I think, too.
Yeah.
And, so we're a team. And I know we do have listeners that, tune in every week or when they can. So it's really been interesting and fun to meet so many people and to have so many people on the show. And then I guess, I wanted to say that's next week. Okay. So 6/29 is the anniversary show. It's going to be for 2 hours. So I would love for listeners to call in. We are going to be live. Please call in. Tell us, if you remember a show that you liked, or just say hello. Tell us where you're calling from. Join us. Let's celebrate together. And we're going to be doing some giveaways too. So you never know, if you call, you might get a prize as well. We're going to do giveaways. We're going to have some special guests and just some fun in general, because we like to celebrate, right, Mike?
We certainly do. And speaking of celebrating, there's a lot to celebrate this weekend. Jazz Fest kicked off last night. I know Pam was there, and we're going to try and get there at some point. I'm sure we will for a few days anyway. The Harbor Fest is going on, and down at Charlotte. And folks, at 9 o'clock tonight is the boat light parade on the river, and that's always a neat sight. For those of Celtic heritage, the Celtic Games are out at Genesee Country Village today and tomorrow. So, there's so much going on. You can't go wrong with a weekend like this. The weather's perfect.
Oh, I know. We kick off with so many things to do around here. So, folks, there's no excuse not to get out, enjoy the weather. Just, go down to the beach, check out, they're going to have sand sculptures, and they are so super cool. I've seen them. So, things that you don't normally see, and it's really fun to do. So thanks for reminding us of that. It's right down the street from us.
Yeah, I know. So you have no excuse.
What are you going to do?
We'll get on the bikes this weekend, take advantage of some riding, but also with 4th of July, can't believe it's less than 2 weeks away. We've got some things to do to get the house ready for guests who will be coming over. So, but again, a great weekend to be out doing anything.
Yeah. And Pam has been joining the folks downtown at the Jazz Fest, which is going on all week. Boy, there's lots to do, folks. Enjoy it. And Mike, do you have anything to say at the end here?
Thanks again for listening. Be well and be kind.
And folks, thanks for joining us today. Come back next Saturday at 11. Don't forget, we start early. We're going to be doing that every week on Saturday. We'll be here with more great info and friends. And believe me, we will be here to remind you that seniors
Seniors rock.